from him yesterday. Okay, let's read out the statement. I think I have the statement here. Conte statement. I have it here. Okay. And this is what it said. Levy knows my thoughts on transfers. Okay. Hold on. He said that the chairman knows his thought on the issue of transfers and the kind of caliber of players he needs, and he's not really happy. But he went further to apologize for everything he has said on on with regards to the club, calling himself the disturbance and left, right, center. Left, right, center. Hopefully, they can move on from there. But I don't think he's going to last in that club with what is going on. I think also hinging on Gareth Bale, not Gareth Bale, Harry Kane staying on that club. That was why Harry Kane stayed on the club, knowing fully well that he can have a good relationship with the manager. A whole lot of stuff left, right, center for these guys, but hopefully we shall see how it ends with Daniel Levy. We can see how it ends with Harry Kane and Antonio Conte in that club. We shall see how it goes. So let's wait and see. We're supposed to have somebody coming in here to talk to us about regards to it. But let's see if it goes well. Okay. Moving on from Antonio Conte, let's go. What is going on at Manchester United? We see Maguire power struggle with Cristiano Ronaldo. We see Rashford being accused of being the mole in the team, leaking out information left, right, center, and sharing those information with the media. Sharing on those information with the media, and he came out to deny it. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. So let's see how we could manage. Let's see how we could manage it. So a whole lot of stuff we could talk about. We'll be waiting for our gladiators to join us very soon. I think they will, as they have always done. They will join us. Okay, I have Arome here. Arome, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's nice to see you today. We have a whole lot of stuff to talk about this morning, and quickly let's dive into it. What is going on with Conte and Daniel Levy at Spurs?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Okay, I can't hear you. Oh, we lost Arome. Okay, let's wait for him to come back to us. He has to share his thoughts with us. What is going on with Conte and Daniel Levy? Then before we dive into Manchester United and the power struggle in that club and every other thing that's really going on. But quickly, fixtures for the EPL for this week is on the show. EPL match day 26. Okay, let's see. It's gonna come back. No. Arumi hasn't come back yet. Okay. I think the big one in the EPL this week is Man City versus Spurs, and we saw what happened in the first leg of that match, where Spurs beat Man City 1-0 in the first match of the EPL this season, and they couldn't really build on that, but the rest was history going forward. They won their first 3 matches and couldn't really muster that momentum going forward. Okay, have Arume back. Okay, Arume, can you hear me now?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
I can barely hear you. I think I'm trying to set up my Bluetooth earpiece.
Can you hear me now?
Saying it's connected, but I can't hear you.
Okay. Okay. Let me just quickly. What is going on in Spurs? The relationship between Daniel Levy and Antonio Conte. Do you think that that relationship is going to last? With basically what we heard from Conte yesterday, with regards to transfers in the January and his unhappiness. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, okay. Better now.
Okay, I said what is going on with in Spurs, especially I think this thing shouldn't really come up in the at the eve when they have a match between Man City, a match that will make them cement that draw close to Manchester United and West Ham in that 4th place run. What do you think is going on between Daniel Levy and Antonio Conte?
Good morning, viewers and our fans. It's good to be back on the show again.
Yes,
What I can say about that is people might see it as part also,
yeah.
but I think it's Daniel Levy being Daniel Levy and Conte being Conte. I mean, I remember the reason why he left Inter Milan. It wasn't because he didn't like the club anymore. It was because what he planned with the club, the agreement they had before he came on, was somehow bought, and not because I don't feel it was because the club wanted it to be bought, but because of financial crisis that came at the time. Inter lost a lot of revenue and couldn't keep up with the kind of signings he wanted. You will also remember that there were coaches that Tottenham interviewed before Conte. They were not. They were. We call them low budget coaches. Somehow they came up with an interview and interviewed Conte and went through the whole procedure and signed him. And between both of us, we know Conte would not have signed if there was no agreement between him and Levy on 1, control of signings, 2, availability of funds to buy superstars as well. As we train, as we work on the youngsters, we also ensure that in the team, because there's a trophy drought at Tottenham, to compete at the highest level, you don't just have the youngsters, you have the youngsters mixed with superstars. That's the way to go. That's always been the way he has operated. He plays the big boys with the young boys, so the young boys learn fast on the job. And so there must have been that agreement. Conte would never have signed if there wasn't an agreement. So the issue with the signings he talked about, I think the interview, he basically, I feel he didn't do justice in the interview personally, because you can't say Bentancur wasn't his signing. At least 2 of the signings in the January transfer windows were his calls. I understand that, but before now, how long has Levy been the chairman of Tottenham Football Club? For every manager, including Pochettino, he has always signed players for them. It has been his call to sign. It has been his call to sell. whether the coach wants to sell or not. It was on him. He decides whether to sell, who to keep, and who to whatever. So it has always been his call. So you don't expect him to just change all of a sudden and hand over all the powers of these things that he has always wielded to Conte. Conte, I'm sure they've had a closed door meeting, because Conte came on in his pre-match interview, pre-match press briefing rather. He talked about, he apologized for the interview he gave in Italy that has caused disturbance in London in recent days. So I'm sure they've had a closed-door meeting, and that has been sorted out, and he has come out to apologize to Liga and Tottenham. So I feel there's nothing so much to talk about there. It was just Conte trying to remind the whole world that, well, I'm in charge. This is what I have to do. It's my call.
Do you see the resemblance? We all know that Conte and Jose Mourinho have this coaching style of trying to put pressure on their owners to do the needful when it comes to transfer. Do you think that if it continues like this, both parties are going to make way for in this contract between, just as we saw between Jose Mourinho and Manchester United, Jose Mourinho and Spurs? Can we see also Conte and Spurs part away like that because of the issue of transfers?
I really do not. Well, that can happen. It can happen. There's nothing impossible in football. But I don't see Tottenham losing Conte anytime soon. If they lose, there are not much A or even B class coaches available at the moment. There are not much. And Tottenham is not that kind of a big team that a Zidane will want to say, okay, let me come and coach. It's not that kind of a big team where someone else, a very big man, you say Ancelotti, where Ancelotti has, with age and with everything, has probably not really an A-class coach anymore. But yeah, you wouldn't expect them, to come as low.
He's doing the job perfectly well at Real. Not
Yeah, he is. With the players that is disposal
during the weekend, but
you give those players, the same players he has at Real Madrid, you give Conte. I want to believe he'll do a better job. This is not to look down or talk down on Ancelotti and what he's been doing and what he's done with Real Madrid, but I believe in terms of coaching in the 21st century, when you want to rate, not according to what someone did 50 years ago, but let's talk about the coaching now.
It's still part of the record. It's still part of the record, whether you like it or
part
not.
Of the record. Well, we want to rate coaches now.
Yeah.
For example, you talk of records. Ancelotti might have wielded a lot. You want to put him with Klopp, who has not won as much as he is, as much as Ancelotti has won. But when you have a Klopp, I have an Ancelotti, who would you pick for your team? You would go for Klopp because he's the 21st century manager who understands the trends of the game right now. And so, in that context, we would say Conte can be rated a bit higher than Ancelotti at the moment, considering everything being in place. So, if we talk about them parting ways, it can happen, but because of the unavailability of top coaches, and I don't see Pochettino wanting to come back to Tottenham anytime soon. So you look at availability of coaches, you understand that Levy, being a very stingy man, we have to state it that way, being a very, very stingy man and selfish at the same time, will not want to lose Conte to any coach, because the moment Conte leaves Tottenham, Manchester United will harvest him. Don't forget, United wasted the opportunity. They lost the opportunity of getting Conte when they would have gotten Conte. They didn't get Conte. They lost him to Tottenham. The current United squad are suffering from what Conte would have been able to deal with. All the crises going on at United are things that Conte know how to handle. He's a stubborn man. And United need a very, very stubborn coach right now to deal with all these all ups and downs that are going. What's happening to United is not unavailability of players, but the will by a manager to say, you down, you in. That's what's happening at United. When they have that kind of a stubborn coach, I'm sure United are counting their losses at the moment. And Levy, knowing he's a very, very good businessman, let's not forget that, will not want to lose Conte, because if he loses Conte, there's no big coach out there. He would have to gamble with the likes of Wayne Rooney, Ryan Giggs, and the rest. It becomes a gamble. So you understand that they will definitely have a meeting, which I'm sure they have, and they'll be having more to trash out a few things and then agree again on what they had already agreed upon and say, okay, look, young man, you're going to be in charge of this and all, but you would cut me some slack in this area. There's compromise even in contracts.
Okay, I agree with you. Okay. What compromise do you think will happen at Manchester United between Harry Maguire and Cristiano Ronaldo? Over the week we had that there's a power struggle between those two players in that club, and a whole lot of things. There's a leak. There's somebody that also leaked out the secret of the club to the press. So, what do you think going forward, the new manager? Because I'm not talking of Ralf Rangnick now. Ralf Rangnick is just there per se, because maybe the players feel that Rangnick is there per se to just steady the shit and take the club to the next in transition to the next manager. The players are misbehaving left, right, center. What do you think will be a middle ground between these two players? I don't think Ronaldo is fighting for the captainship. It's not about the captainship. It's all about players knowing what they should do in a football match, which I think at the moment now, the current Manchester United players and the entire Manchester United squad don't really know what they are doing. So what do you think will be a level playing? Is it to strip off Maguire off the captainship, or going forward, is it that some vocal voices like Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, David De Gea, speak much more louder to their teammates with regards to where they want to take the club to? It is not. I don't think it is the job of Ralf Rangnick to coach his players, but also the job of these players to know their individual place in that team, knowing what they should do on and off the pitch.
Yeah. First of all, I will start with the issue of captaincy in the first place. Philip, you would agree with me. Growing up, captains were selected based on character.
Exactly.
Captains were selected based on courage.
Yeah.
How are you able to rally your teammates during the games? When games are going on, who is making the calls? Who is shouting the most? Who is ensuring that the defense is in order? Who is ensuring that the creative midfielder is running? Is not just everywhere. Who is ensuring that the defensive midfielder knows that he is supposed to be on duty, even though he might run this way? Ensure your place is in your position is in place. That is who the captain is. But somehow, I personally feel EPL abused that what do I call it now? That position. Yeah. Because EPL started turning it to who's the oldest player in the team, who has spent a longer time in the club. That was what became in the EPL. Who has spent longer time in the club, who is a bigger person in the club. No longer who is the most vocal, who rallies the troop more. You look at in time past, the likes of the John Terrys, the Makeleles, the Ryan Giggs, you know,
all these big guys are,
these were people who were vocal in their game. You don't see them play 2 minutes, 3 minutes without shouting at their teammates. Come on, sit up. A defender messes up rather than tapping on the back. Hey, young man, you know, it's they keep everyone on their toes throughout the game. But somehow, in our current football, in the 21st century, it is no longer who is the most vocal or who rallies the troop more. It is about who has stayed longer in the team. Now that has been abused.
Maguire has not even stayed longer in the team.
I'm heading there. I don't know why and how Maguire got the call, but if you look at
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave him that captainship, and I think it was one of the
if you look at the team when Maguire signed for Manchester United, you would understand why Maguire got the captain's.
You had a De Gea in that team that could have been the leader of that team as well.
De Gea isn't the vocal person. The guy will only shout when they begin to fire too much shots at him and he's having to save and save and save. That's when you hear him call out at the troops. So you look at the team at the time he signed, you might want to give Ole a slack on that. But okay, we have real leaders on the team at the moment. Why don't you as a coach? You see, this is why I said there's a need for a stubborn manager at United, because someone has to make the call every other person would not want to make. Someone has to look at look at Maguire straight in the eyes and tell him, young man, you aren't doing well. Sorry, you're going to be benched for a while.
Yeah.
There are people who want to step up. Eric Bailey, barring injuries, is also good. You give him a run of games, you get, yeah, he can make errors leading to goal, but that can be worked on as well. It's football. A lot of things have been learned at the moment. So if Maguire in a team that has Varane, has Bruno Fernandes, has a Pogba, these people are vocal, have the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, and Maguire in such a team is the captain. It says a lot about the management style of the club. I'm sorry, it doesn't look like I'm bringing United down, but that is where we are at the moment.
This is where we are. See, let me tell you something. I'm a United fan, but it doesn't matter. This is football. Let's talk about it, and let's put it the way it is. We can talk about Chelsea, Arsenal. It doesn't really matter, but it is just the way it is, and this is football. That's the reality at the moment. Yeah. So
we talk of the part also. There shouldn't be a part also. I expect Ralph, he's trying to be a nice guy. He has probably tried.
In this football, that was what brought social down. They are not nice guys. They're not nice guys in football.
Trying to be a nice guy, trying to be good to everybody. You cannot be good to everyone if you must get results. You need to step on some persons. You need to step on their toes. You need to trample on their egos. Let them know, hey, I make the calls here. Do what I say, or you sit down. The 4-2-2 formation, 4-2-2-2 formation, people were shouting about. When Ralph came in and experimented it didn't work. The next game in the FA Cup, was it FA Cup or the Carabao Cup? Tuchel used the same formation and won a game, won it very well. So it is not just about.
I think for me, it's all about these players knowing what. I just think that there are a lot of players in that team that don't play for the team itself.
They are lazy.
Play for the team. We see what is going on in Chelsea. We see what is going on in Arsenal. We see what is going on in City. We also see what is going on in Liverpool. And these players are responding to what their coach.
Exactly. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But let it not be that the player didn't do his own.
Yes, it just shows that the players have problem. And remember that after the Southampton game last week, was it last week or last weekend?
I think last weekend.
Yes, came out and said he knew that the Manchester United team, basically in the second half or at some point in the game, don't track back.
They don't track back. Yes,
he had those data with him, and he played on that data.
Exactly, and it worked out for him in the first minute.
And I know that Ralph Rangnick knows this. He knows this, and he has told his players about it, and nobody is taking it seriously. For me, we all know that the problem. Yes, all he had his own problem. I think for me, I will cut Ralph Rangnick a slack because he knows it, but players are not responding to the 4-2-2-2 could have worked. It worked.
There's Ralph. You guys have United. There's what's his name? This Brazilian Fred. There's McTominay. So when you want to talk of sitters, there are sitters at United. I don't want to. When people say the 4-2-2 formation is not good, it cannot work. It works. City have played 4-2-2 as Ralph came to United. Chelsea have used 4-2-2 and they've won games with this formation. So when I hear people criticize the formation, it doesn't work, it cannot work. What formation will work at United at the moment? Because when you see the likes of Rashford firing blanks, he makes useless runs. I'm sorry to say so. Rashford was known for his proper timing of his runs and direct shot on goal. But at the moment, nothing is even happening. He runs and he's offside. He shoots and he shoots. You can even put 2 goals, 2 posts on each on top, and his shot will still not get into the net. So United problem has a lot to do with the players more than the manager. We can talk of the board and their problems. That's a separate issue. But we want to talk about what we are seeing week in, week out on the pitch. And I personally would say it's more on the players then the manager and even the board. So the players will need to get the acts right. Look, you can sack as many as possible. the coaches you're talking about. You know, the last time I heard on ESPN the likes of Craig Burley saying Chelsea have sacked too many coaches. Hello, Chelsea sacked coaches for reasons.
Well, they're getting the results. It's all about the
Yeah,
results.
and for every coach that came in, there were results, and when there was an issue, they stepped out. When you come to coach Chelsea, you know you are coming to work, and the players will listen to what you have to offer. Whatever formation you are coming with, they will work with it. If it doesn't get results for the team, you are fired, not because the players are not playing for you, but because your tactics are not working. Now we come to United and we see a situation where the players are not even, they don't want to understand. See the other time, players coming out to say Ralph Ragnick's training style is archaic. It's old school, playing 11 versus 11. But the both of us, we know that to work out tactics in a team, to bring out formations and tactics, you play 11 versus 11. When Tuchel came, he had to bring in a lot of the academy football players into the team to work out tactics for the first team players. When Conte came, he did the same thing. So when you have a team and you need to work out a different tactics from what they are known, what they've known to be doing before, you need to play 11 versus 11 to set out this formation and this style. But no, United players are up and saying his training methods are archaic. Someone, a pundit said, if you feel his training methods are old school, it's fine. Why don't you wait behind after the main training when the coach and every other person is gone? You call one or two other staff members who can come and help you to do your new school training. So you work on yourself.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree with you. I think it boils down to how these players are currently. The player power in football now is so big, especially with the agents cashing a lot of money left, right, center. But that we can leave that matter for that. Quickly, let's go. I think we just have roughly 10 minutes towards the end of the show.
All right.
15 minutes here towards the end of the show. Quickly, let's go through the top European leagues this weekend. I think the only big match in the EPL is Spurs. Do we call that big match versus Man City at home to Spurs today by 5:30 p.m. That's a big match for the entire weekend in the EPL. So what's your take about that match? Remember the first leg of that match ended in the 1-0 victory for Spurs. And subsequently they had a 3 to 4 match unbeaten run when the team collapsed under Nuno Espirito.
Yeah.
Do you see Spurs repeating what they did last time at home to Man City, or do you see a City playing and crushing them the way they did to Lisbon in the midweek when the likes of Bernardo Silva scored wonderful goals?
Oh my God!
And Raheem Sterling. What's about that match?
You see the current Man City team, and you're like, okay, there's no team in the world at the moment that can stop these guys from scoring. The only way, whatever you can do, is maybe outscore them, but really stopping them from scoring, we don't see that happen anytime soon. And we look at Tottenham. Is it possible for Tottenham to do this? Yes, they can. Don't forget, they have a very, very stubborn coach. And somehow, the players are responding to what he says. The players are understanding what he wants them to play. It's just that the problem with Tottenham, that's the difference between Tottenham and Manchester United now. The problem with Tottenham is they don't really have the personnel to carry out what Conte really wants. And that's the reason why he went ahead to talk about the transfer policy and whatever happened in January and all. They don't really have the player, but the ones available, you see them trying to execute what Conte has told them to do. So a game like City, where it's a big game, it's a psychological work. It becomes psychological for the coach and the players, like Conte. From Conte now, that's what I'm trying to say. Conte just needs to work on the psyche of his players. Let them understand that, look, this is a big game. We need to create an upset. We need to cause an upset, rather. We need to create an impression on people's mind that, look, we are not down. We might be knocked down, but we are not out. We are still top contenders for the top 4. We are contenders for the top 4. Now, it is a statement game for Conte. Whereas for Pep Guardiola, it is about continuing from where we stopped in our last game. They killed Lisbon in the last game. Played wonderful football. You know, when you want to talk of wonderful, what Nigerian soup can you equate to the kind of football Pep Guardiola plays at the moment? You watch it, it's so interesting.
I don't know.
It's so sweet, it's so delicious. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I watch City and it's all smiles because you see the flow of the game. You see everyone trying to.
Do you know what? Even without a top renowned striker, they are playing wonderful football and banging in goals left, right, center.
That's it. There's a first time you don't know as a defender, you don't know who to mark out. And you hear a lot of central defenders. They complain when they come against a team that doesn't have a top 9.
Yeah.
When there's a team is playing as false 9, it's a problem for them because you don't know who you're marking. It now causes them to go into zonal marking. And when you do zonal marking and you have fast legs like Raheem Sterling, you have Phil Foden, you have Mahrez running at that your zonal marking, you will give in. When 3, 4, 5 crosses comes in, they will break it at some point. And when these guys are ahead on your goalkeeper, it's just a matter of seconds and it's a goal. So you look at that team and it's an unpredictable team. But it's not impossible for Conte to break that team and even get all points. It's also possible for a draw. So you ask me what the team to put my money on. If it's my spare money, I can put on City. But if I need to put on serious money, I'm not putting money on any of those teams because anything can happen in football. I'm not betting on any one of them at the moment.
Okay. In other matches, we will see West Ham, early kick of West Ham versus Newcastle, Arsenal, Brentford. That should be 4 p.m. Nigerian time. We'll also see Brighton, Burnley, Liverpool, Norwich, Southampton, Everton, Aston Villa, Watford, and your darling club Chelsea will be coming back to the EPL to play against Crystal Palace. They'll be traveling. That's a London derby. Then finally, we end with the match we just talked about, which is City versus Spurs. Tomorrow, I think there are only 2 matches tomorrow. We'll see Leeds United versus Manchester United. That's a northeast derby, northwest derby. Sorry, and we'll also see Wolverhampton welcoming Leicester City at home. That's it for the EPL. I think the EPL that's it for the EPL. Let's quickly go to the La Liga. Let me see La Liga. On La Liga today, we'll see Granada versus Villarreal. Also, Osasuna, Atletico Madrid. I will talk about Atletico Madrid very soon. Arome and their woes. Cadiz, Getafe, Real Madrid, Alves. Real Madrid, Alves. Barcelona will go to Valencia. That should be tomorrow. Real Betis tomorrow will play Mallorca. Athletic Club Bilbao versus Real Sociedad. Celta Vigo will also play Levante on Monday. That should be on Monday. That should be their match day 25 in La Liga. So what is going on with Atletico Madrid? They'll be facing Manchester United, another unserious side as well that is not informed, I would say. But when you compare to both clubs, I think Manchester United in terms of on paper I see much more better than Atletico. But what's going on with Atletico Madrid? There are rumors that the hierarchy of Atletico Madrid are shopping for a manager now to replace Diego Simeone. Do you think that it's just a one-season blink that he will get his acts together next season? But what's going on currently now with that club?
I think it's a situation where almost everybody is out of form at the moment. You look at them, you watch them play, and you see people who want to play football. You see players hungry, but their passes are just not getting through. Their runs are offsides. Their shots are not really on target. But you see them running and trying to make it work, and it isn't working. I personally feel there's always a time like this for every club in a season. You hardly would see a team who would run from start to the end on fire. There must be a period where you would have a dip in form, but the extent of the dip is what now matters. I think Simeone, who is a hard trainer, someone like Conte, he trains the team a lot. There's constant drills. There are constant drills, up and down, up and down. He might want to take it a notch, some notches, not even a notch, some notches down. Let the players relax a little bit, take some break, and come back fresh. to start to work all over again, because it is not a situation where the players are refusing to play or not playing well or having given attitude. It's about what they're doing, just not working at the moment. And they keep working and working. So I feel they need to cut them some slack, let them relax a little bit, and then come back fresh. They do that a lot in England, where when the fires are up and up and up, sometimes they just decide to a period where they have a short break for international duty. The clubs will take the remaining players who didn't go, just take them to another country in the name of training, having a short break out of mid-season training. If you that's sometimes they go to Spain, they go to other, just to have the players relax their minds, work in a different climate, and then come back fresher than they were before. So I feel that's what Atletico needs at the moment. The players taking, but the problem is that right now, all their players play first team football for their country as well. So that's where the problem comes. The only windows available for them to go now before the season ends are FIFA international windows. And these players all represent their countries. So how are they able to get this rest? I don't know how it's going to work, but Simeone will have to find something, have to do something urgent and do something fast and as fast as possible.
The time for them to rest is no longer there. I don't think it's there. But maybe they will have to look for something. We saw the match we saw the Turin derby yesterday ended in the 1-1 or 1-1 draw. Everybody expected the Juventus to win, but they couldn't really monster something out of that match. I think that should disappoint the Juventus coach Allegri. It should be a disappointment for Allegri, but I think it's just tell you how their season is so far so good. I know they will qualify for Europe with what they have on ground, but they have to be consistent going forward. Hopefully next season. For today's match in the Italian Serie A, you see Sampdoria versus Empoli. Roma welcome Verona. Salernitana welcome AC Milan, the league leaders currently now.
Yeah.
And the big match for tomorrow will see us Fiorentina versus Atlanta. That's a big match. Venezia versus Genoa. Also tomorrow, Inter Milan, after being scorched and outscored by Liverpool during the midweek Champions League, we will see them welcome Sassuolo at the San Siro. Then Udinese versus Lazio, Cagliari versus Empoli, Bologna versus Spurs. And that's just it for the Italian Serie A. Do you see any change at the top of the table for
Italy this weekend? Even if there will be changes to be in the middle of the pack, the top teams will still maintain. I think the top teams will still maintain their positions come the end of the weekend. They are not real part also at the moment in terms of the fixtures. So the fixtures for today, for this weekend, they are friendly to the top teams, the league leaders. So you should expect to see them win their games fairly and still keep their positions.
Okay, that is it. We can't take the rest of, because we're out of time. We can't take the rest of the league, the Bundesliga and the Ligue 1. But you can catch up with those. Our viewers can catch up with those other leagues today as well. Arume, it's nice being on the show today after a long period of time. I will have you next week Saturday on the Pundit table. You and Khalid on this show next week. I promise you. I'll have you on next week on this show. Hopefully, we'll have much more exciting and interesting football stories to talk about on the Pundit table, which is also a constant Saturday show on Football Nutmeg. Every Saturday, that's what we have every morning, and maybe we'll extend it during the week. We don't know, but time shall tell. Hopefully, it's good to have you on the show. I think it's been a while. I've been reluctant to bring you up the show, maybe because of one or two things you have on your schedule. But I think I will appreciate you for having time to come on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah. See you. Bye bye. This is Football Nutmeg. I just spoke to Arume now with regards to what is going on around Europe, the Manchester United saga, and every other thing. Well, I would like you to kindly like our video and share much more of this link out there. Hopefully, I will see you next maybe during the week when we'll come with an exciting show for you. Bye bye. My name is Omo Fields, and bye bye. Sorry.